Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second session, our second family support session. My name is Pam Kazee. I'm Director of Special Education for the Alameda Unified School District. I am pleased to share with you this session entitled Managing Stress and Anxiety During Shelter in Place. Our presenters today are board certified behavior analysts and members of our district special education team. They are Tara Donahue and Lisa Fox. We are holding these sessions every Thursday from 3 o'clock to 3:20 or so. We hope you enjoy this way of connecting. Please ensure that you are muted, and if you know how to turn off the camera or video, it certainly helps us with our bandwidth. Thank you again, and we will begin at this time. First, we have Tara.
Hi, everyone. We hope this day finds you safe and healthy. And really, we're just thrilled to be here to help you, to help out, and just honored that you came. Time is different these days, and the way we schedule things is different. And we just really appreciate you taking this time to show up. Today we're going to present some tools to help combat stress and anxiety. It's going to be based on some important work done by Dr. Russ Harris, who is an expert in the field. We want to let you know that you're not alone, and everything that you're experiencing right now is completely normal and to be expected. We get that and want you to know that you're doing such an incredible job. This is really hard, and you're doing great, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes. We're all experiencing some form of stress. And with stress, you can often lose everything that you know. Sometimes the things that come to us automatically just aren't coming to us anymore. And we want to just explore a little bit further. So how do we keep it all together? Many of you may have seen this, this picture before. How can we give ourselves, our all, and also give our all to our families and our friends that are here that we need to support? It all comes down to that very familiar adage of you will have a hard time caring for others if you aren't taking care of yourself. So our hope for today is to help you find compassion for yourself while acting with kindness in your interactions with your kids, spouses, and those who count on us to support us. Our goal is to help you identify stressors and really help minimize fatigue mentally and physically. It's really normal when things are different or uncertain to experience a lot of repetitive thoughts and feelings related to anxiety. These thoughts and feelings can lead to reactions that aren't always helpful. A lot of people have, during this time that I've spoken with, have reported sleeplessness, agitation. I've heard of just overreactions to things that you typically wouldn't even bother you. I've heard of people overeating and overdrinking, and some of them just not having any sort of appetite. I've also heard reports of lethargy or just freezing and underreacting to things that typically you would be able to react to. And I've also heard of self-harm, and mostly I've heard of self-judgment. And what if there was a way that you could choose to respond to your child, your partner, or anyone instead of instantly reacting to unpleasant situations? What if you could choose your own direction, even in the moment? So where do we begin? Focus on what's in your control. There are a lot of things out of control right now, and that is really hard. We've got COVID, the thoughts and feelings that keep going on in our head, the disruption of our schedules, trying to homeschool, trying to figure out how to work from home. And then there's news, constant news all the time. And what can we control? And what can we do in this present moment? Right now, you are watching this presentation. That's such a great choice. Congratulations, you are controlling that present moment. Often we can be preoccupied with what we can do next. Have you asked yourself, is the next moment more important than this moment right now? And sometimes all you can do is accept that there's not much you can do. And sometimes all you can control is how well you can let go of control. It's a hard ask sometimes. So let's start with acknowledging our thoughts and feelings. There are no good feelings or bad feelings, just simply being aware that what is coming to mind is just that, it's coming to mind. These thoughts and feelings are normal and to be expected, but when we label our feelings, we also have a choice in how we respond. If you can, gently notice with kindness and curiosity when you're having a thought and label it. This act can help separate the thought from what we see as truth or how we react. Okay, so we talked about how stress can affect us from the brain, our mental level, and also our physical level. Here are some exercises from Dr. Harris that can help us when we find ourselves stuck in our head. Sometimes we think we have a need to obey the thoughts that we have in our head, and sometimes those thoughts can feel threatening. By engaging in some of these quick and easy exercises, we can help take a step back from all of those thoughts and that need to follow those thoughts. So the first exercise that I'm going to talk about is called I'm having the thought that. So I want you to think of an unhelpful phrase that you tell yourself, such as, I'm not good at this. Where did you feel it? Most people will report that it's kind of an internal gut feeling. Now I want you to add another sentence to that. I'm having the thought that I'm not good at this. Did the sensation change? Did it go somewhere else? Now let's add one more sentence. I'm thinking that I'm having the thought that I'm not good at this. Did you notice a less internalized feeling? You're doing great. The next exercise I like to call, Ross Harris likes to call this too, is thanks mind. Sometimes we have thoughts that can be very judgmental, such as I'm failing as a parent. Or sometimes we use the word should a lot. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Neither necessarily are super helpful. And sometimes what we want to do is just lighten it up by thanking our mind for thinking about it. So yeah, I feel like I'm failing as a parent. Thanks for letting me know about your thoughts. I'm going to put my energy into something that works for me. I should be making more bread. I should be baking every single day. I should be organizing my house. I should be getting dressed every day. Thanks, mind. Thanks for your thoughts. I'm going to put my energy into something else. The next exercise is called When in Doubt, Sing It Out. What's a great way to diminish the weight that we give our anxious thoughts? Sing it to the tune of a child's song. I'll never get the hang of Google Classroom. Did that help? The last one is called changing but to and. And this is in the cognitive behavior world, what we would call reframing. And it's kind of easy. It's just sometimes we like to say but as to why we can't do things. So we want to change it to and as to why we can do things. So I want to stop eating this bag of chips, but they're so good and they're in front of my face. Or I really want to stop eating this bag of chips, and I'm going to pour some in the bowl so I have some for later. See how these little exercises kind of change the way that we think about things? They may feel silly, but they're a great way to diffuse the intensity of what we feel and what we tell ourselves. In times of great weight, you may experience feeling stuck. And those games or exercises can lighten that load and make space for thoughts and feelings to flow in and out. So we just talked about our brain. Now let's talk about our body. When we try to escape our thoughts and feelings, we have a hard time coming back to where we need to be. When we connect with our physical body, it helps ground ourselves and takes us away from our thinking brain to our present self. So easy things that you can do right in the moment when you start to feel that stress: press your feet into the floor, grow some roots. Stretching, this can help reverse all that sitting and gripping and clenching. Breathing. Slow and steady breaths can help alleviate that fight or flight reaction. There's also some research that we put up on at the end of this presentation that talks a lot about parasympathetic breathing. This is an evidence-based practice that really works on breathing in the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in our body that controls the anxiety reaction. And lastly, listening. What can you hear that isn't the voice in your head? One more exercise. Engage in what you're doing. This exercise is something that I do with a lot of my kiddos, but I also have done it with a lot of the parents that I've worked with. Once we get the sense of where we are, you'll be able to focus on what you're doing. And some people call this the Name 5 Things exercise. Sometimes it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. I'm going to run through this, and maybe you might want to run through it with me. Name 5 things that you can see. Name 4 things you can touch. Name 3 things you can hear. Name 2 things you can taste. Name 1 thing you can smell. What did you notice? Were you distracted? Was this hard? Did this put you at all at ease? Or did you worry if you did this exercise correctly? Did you forget about what you were worrying about? That's our hope. It's okay if you experience all of the above. Our hope is that you see that you have a choice in the moment. Moving towards our values is really the name of the game.
Choosing action, effective action guided by your values. It can help to do things that you would normally enjoy, even if you don't feel like doing them right now. Throughout the day, take a moment to pause, notice, and choose. Pause and notice when you're connected to and acting accordingly with what you care about most, and notice when you are not. Gently bringing yourself back to your intention whenever you notice you're off track. Take note of things you enjoy, talking with friends, laughing or saying I love you, meditation, yoga or prayer, dancing, listening to music, physical activity or a hobby. The important rule about these activities is that they are things that are meaningful to you and support you living a fulfilling life. Make a promise to yourself about something that really matters and start small. Keep coming back to this practice everywhere, every when, every how, every mood, and with everyone. Just keep practicing. Opening up thoughts, feelings, and kindness. Tara mentioned this a bit earlier, but it is extremely important when we're dealing with thoughts and feelings associated with stress and anxiety. Remember how normal it is to feel fear, anxiety, grief, anger, and much more. Acknowledge your feelings are normal and allow them to be there, even though they hurt. Being kind to yourself. Remember, self-kindness is essential if you want to cope with this crisis, especially if you are in a caregiver role. Self-kindness is, again, the oxygen mask. When we take care of ourselves, we're able to care for others. Acknowledgement. These are crazy hard times. Letting go of or opening up to self-judgment, acting with kindness, accepting and opening up, making room for our thoughts and feelings, allowing them to flow through us. Validation of our experience, feeling stressed and anxious is totally normal right now, and connectedness to one another. Sharing our experiences together as the human experience are elements of developing self-compassion and kindness and allowing ourselves to open up. Values, all the important stuff. Of course, as this crisis unfolds, there will be all sorts of obstacles in your life, goals you can't achieve, things you can't do, problems for which there are no simple solutions. But you can still live your values in a variety of different ways, even in the face of all those challenges. Your values may be kindness, love, humor, patience, caring, respect, courage, or honesty. Look for ways to sprinkle your values throughout your day. Let them guide and motivate your action. Consider, what are kind and caring ways you can treat yourself as you go through this? What are kind words you can say to yourself? Kind deeds you can do for yourself? What can you say and do that will enable you to look back in years to come and feel proud of your response? Every moment offers a choice, and every moment you can choose how to best to use the time. The moment can be all about crisis parenting or caregiving, or it can be about something more meaningful or valued. By connecting with our values, we can transform stress, anxiety, and uncertainty into an opportunity to connect with what matters most. Self-care equals collective care. Self-care, as defined by the World Health Organization, refers to the practice of taking action and preserving or improving one's own health, especially during periods of stress. When we're supporting ourselves, we're able to support our families and communities. Self-care looks like taking care of yourself, even when it feels like it's the last thing you should do. Advocating for your needs and setting boundaries. Asking for help or for a moment to yourself. When we take time to care for ourselves, our children see that and learn. Taking a look at the self-care wheel and thinking about ways you can engage in self-care in each of these areas. These are not necessarily what to-dos of self-care, but in what way can self-care be approached? Remembering that context matters. Physical, professional, personal, emotional, spiritual, psychological are all areas of self-care. There is no act of self-care that does not contribute to well-being, and self-care can be considered as a quality of action. It can be an act of love and kindness. To support decreased stress and anxiety during this crisis, it may be helpful to identify resources before they're actually needed. So we have links to the AUSD distance learning support for parents and guardians, the World Health Organization website, our local Alameda County Public Health Department, listing friends, family, neighbors, school and other health professionals, emergency services, and don't forget all of your self-care resources too. Remembering that we are stronger together and have survived this long because we're super cooperators. Access your identified resources for support in moments of acute stress and anxiety. Don't forget to disinfect and distance. Taking care of our physical health and emotional health is extremely important during this time and speaks to taking care of moments of stress and anxiety that we might be feeling. Physical health, remember to follow the hygiene protocols, washing your hands and getting physical exercise are ways to reduce stress and anxiety. And physical distancing doesn't mean distancing emotionally. It's important during these times to stay connected to those we care about and who provide support. And please don't forget, we're all in this. Here's a list of our references and resources. As Tara mentioned in the beginning, this is from a framework called Face COVID. There's a YouTube link there. The Breathing Brings Better Health and breathing exercises are the bottom two links. principles behind these strategies are evidence-based and are firmly grounded in behavioral principles. Myself and Tara have used these fun and practical exercises with our students, staff, and ourselves, and have witnessed their effectiveness in coping during stressful and anxious times. Our hope is that you've learned something new and fun and easy tools to use when experiencing feelings of stress and anxiety. In closing, we'd like to acknowledge you and your commitment to attend today's training, for taking the time out of your daily life and schedule to focus on something that hopefully you found supportive and meaningful to you as a parent or caregiver, and that you remember it's the small things that matter. You don't have to lift it all at once, and know that you are doing a great job.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you joining us today. The presentation will be posted tomorrow on the Special Education Department website at our district's webpage. Do take time, if you can, for questions or feedback using this link. The link will remain live through the end of the week through tomorrow. And we will post questions and answers on the Special Education webpage along with the PowerPoint. Have a great day and do take good care.